jibber jab, bamboozle, nooka noozle, bippity bop, she-gall. You jibber jab, bamboozle, nooka noozle, bippity bop, she-gall. I mean, you keep on talking, but you don't know where to turn.
Good evening. Welcome to the weekend. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute. You're watching Independent Thinking. You know, it's your government. Shouldn't you have the right to see where they're spending the money? Why is it so difficult for those of us who want to know where the money's going to find out? To talk about it from the Independence Institute, Ben DeGrow just wrote a paper on transparency. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And a citizen activist who's been on the other side of this equation, Natalie Menten. Natalie, thank you. Now, you live in Lakewood?
Lakewood, yes.
All right, so you're concerned with Lakewood City government, you're concerned with Jefferson County School District and Jefferson County, right?
That would be the thing that's closest to me. I'm concerned about the state of Colorado and on down. I think that's where we can make a difference most in our government.
All right, but you're like so many other citizens, you just want to know what's going on.
Yes.
You want to know where your money's being spent.
Yes.
All right. We've been tossing around this term transparency, and I like the word. It sounds good. Obama talks about transparency. Our new president says something about transparency. What does he do? What does he say?
That's right. We're in a new era of hope and change. And
hope and change.
Whether you agree with the Obama agenda or not completely, I mean, one of the things that he really promoted in his inaugural address, and he's really promoted even on a new White House website, is this idea of transparency. Those of us who manage the public's dollars will be held to account, he told us, to spend wisely, reform habits, and to do our business in the light of day. And that's what we're asking school districts in Colorado to pursue, that same line of policy. With the technology we have today, it's pretty easy and cost effective to put that detailed spending information of how you're spending taxpayer dollars. Supposedly for the kids, we want to make sure that's how you're spending it. That's all we're asking.
For those people just watching, let's see if we can make this real simple. Colorado has some pretty good laws when it comes to sunshine. We've got the Sunshine Law. It says that politicians are getting together doing business. They're supposed to do it in public and announce it. We also have Freedom of Information Act type law. It's called CORA. What does that mean?
It means that we as citizens can request records from our government. There's a certain time they have to respond to our request. You may have to pay for those records, but we're supposed to be able to get spending information, see the specifics.
And CORA, which is, what is it, Colorado Open Records Act? Is that what it is?
Right.
CORA. So it's a little bit like a Freedom of Information Act. If you want to see any public document, and you're not an elected official, you're a citizen, you want to see this stuff, you write them a letter and you say, I'd like to see this budget, I'd like to see all your emails, I'd like to see this, and then they have to send it to you, right?
Yes.
Now, we've got a lot of experience with this at Independence because all this stuff is public information. It's just not very easily accessible. We spend a fair amount of time trying to find things out from government, including budget numbers and particularly check numbers. Show me the check to this guy.
Right, and depending on the government agency or the school district you're trying to get that information from, it might be a fairly easy endeavor, and sometimes depending on the agency and the person you're dealing with, it can end up being a lot of hassle and costing a lot of money, as Natalie's experience really shows.
What's odd is Colorado's got 3,000 governments, all right? And in our years of working, trying to get public information so that we can look at it, some technocrats are very good. They say, what do you need? Oh, let me just burn a disk for you. Here it is. No, don't worry about it. And some are like, well, this is going to cost you. It's going to take us a lot of time. We're not going to be able to get it to you in time. And they don't give you what you want, and then they charge you for it. Let me back up a little bit. What information are we looking for, and why do you, as a citizen, want to see it? What exactly, for instance, would you like to be made public?
Well, first of all, I would like to know that for those of us who are very frugal with our money and try to make the most of it, that the government treats our money in the same way, that they use it efficiently, they use it for prioritized, whatever that entity is supposed to do, we use it for those priorities. So I want to be able to be confident that my government's spending our money wisely, and why should we approve tax increases unless we know how that money's being spent?
They have nice budget statements. You can get their budget if whether it's a city of Lakewood where you live or the school district where you live. If you wanted to see the budget numbers, you could probably just go online. They have a nice overview of the budget. Why isn't that not enough for you?
When somebody says we're spending $3 million on service and supplies, that doesn't really tell me anything. What are we exactly spending our money on? How is the police department utilizing money? So a budget doesn't tell us much except how they intend to spend the money or what they may spend it on. Spending, actually seeing how it is spent, whether it's credit cards, checkbooks, That tells us exactly what we are getting for our money. Budget is very vague and leaves
So
a
in
lot
other
to be
words,
desired.
we're doing this towards programs and services. You actually want to see the check. You want to see how much they're spending on this, how much they're spending on that, you know, how many times they went to Starbucks, how many times they went on vacation, what hotels they went to. And all this, I want to get back to this, all this information is public information, is it not? The stuff that Natalie has been looking for in Lakewood and Jeffco, it's not secret. It's not something that's tucked away in some sort of Homeland Security vault. This is just public information that she can get. All she has to do is request and pay some money for.
Absolutely. The public information that we have out there, these budgets, the financial reports, even the detailed expenditures, it's all public information that we're able to look at. It's just a matter of the format and how they're showing it to us, and the fact that they're not utilizing the technology available to them to make it easy for everyday citizens to access. People who are busy, people who have lives and a lot of obligations, it's a complicated, can be complicated and maybe not even worth the effort to go find that information.
Let's take, for instance, the check register. Just as most people who have a checking account, they've got a check register. It shows the check number, the amount, who it's going for, a little memo column. Government has the exact same thing, and we've looked at these check registers for governments all over Colorado. You've asked for these as well, haven't you?
Yes.
Why?
I wanted to be able to prove that this information could be easily put onto the internet and that people would be interested to look at it. The biggest reason to do this is that we can find savings in this, and Texas, state of Texas is a great example. A system that was very minimal cost, really, has produced millions of dollars in savings. So I wanted.
Wow, wait. Let me stop you there. So I know Texas, and it's a great story too, we'll have to share it, but Texas has taken the state and taken its check register, put it online, has a searchable database. So you can type in there, show me all the checks the state has written to Jon Caldara, John's company, or to this contractor, or to this person. You can see if they've been giving kickbacks to anybody. How in the world does that save money? All right, so it's all online. The disconnect is that having this public information more easily accessible, somehow that saves money. I don't get that. Explain it.
Well, right now, a government doesn't use a bidding process unless it's over a certain dollar amount. Most governments, unless it's over $25,000, $50,000, there's no bidding process to it. So you have a multitude of employees who may be buying one product, but we don't use the bidding process to maximize the letting businesses know that they can try to get that bid and do it in a competitive manner and save us money. If we have a searchable database, a concrete company could go in and put in a keyword of concrete and see how much the school district is spending on that specific area of improvements.
So the guy finds out, wait a second, I want to see what the school district is spending to repave their parking lot. They find out you paid $30,000? I could have done that job for $25,000. I better let the government know, hey, keep me informed next time you're doing it, I can beat this price. Is that basically the way that works?
Yes, because the bidding process with a typical government, bidding process itself costs money to the government. If we can just open this up, we don't need to spend the money to send out the notices. An average business can just go in there and search for whatever they deal in and try to save us all money and get some business.
That's not just businesses, but it's also political opponents. If you notice that you supported somebody for city council and that person is making sure that somebody else is getting money, it really opens up some of those questions as well. Where is government spending our money? Are there any kickbacks going any place? Is there anything that people should be looking at? I can see why a lot of politicians don't want this.
Right, because whether it's school districts or another government agency, shining that sort of public light on spending opens up the books to 1,000 more eyes to look at and see if one of the advantages of transparency is it can root out potential waste and corruption. And by enhancing public accountability, you can end up saving the taxpayers' dollars, as we've seen in Texas, and make public education truly a public